Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome back to Harry's Highlights. On this video, we're going to be talking about the book Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. Now this is basically all about how to survive and thrive in any and all situations. It's about understanding how in this noisy, fast-paced digital world that we live in nowadays, that a lot of the old fundamental principles that we came to develop over centuries of human thought are being lost. It's about simple, base level, foundational thought processes and foundations that we no longer subscribe to or very rarely implement. It's understanding where we came from and how we got to where we are now. See, Stillness is a Key has some fantastic philosophies from different disciplines and thought processes and mindsets. See, one of the things it talks about here is that stillness is what aims the archer's arrow. Now just that thought there, it had me think about that no matter how skilled, powerful, strong an archer you are, they all require stillness. No matter what type of bow they're using, a long bow, a recurve bow, a compound bow, they all require stillness. No matter whether they were the English longbowmen or whether they were the Mongols, whether they're modern day archers now, all of them require to some degree stillness. And there's an understanding about how stillness inspires new ideas, it sharpens perspectives and illuminates connections. It has such a powerful effect on everything that we do in life. And yet it is very rarely ever implemented anymore. Is how often can you say that you've ever taken a moment? You've stopped, paused and said, I'm going to stop and think about this in depth, in great detail, with intentional thought and patience. It's almost non-existent. In this hyper-connected world where everything is about the next, notification, the next, anxious-inducing message that's about to come through, we're constantly available. That also means that conflict and argument is always ready there. The second that somebody wants it, they just type up an angry message or a text message, send that off. And you, being hyper-connected to everything in the world, are there to receive it. There's almost a lack of distance in some ways, because anytime somebody wants to get a hold of you, it's no longer, a hopeful phone call to the home phone, or even, a trek to their front door and knocking on them, hello, is Harry here? It's simply from the comfort of their, own home, their bed, they can pour their thoughts out onto this text message, digitally communicate it to you, and you're inundated with whatever conflict, argument, or negative feeling that other person or persons are experiencing. It's understanding about that, how in this day and age that we're almost removing that option for quiet, stillness, that so many people say that they only get when they go to the shower or the bathroom, the toilet. Somewhere where it's just finally, a moment of peace. That thinking, that option is almost non-existent nowadays. Yet, if you think about it and you study it, you can see that wise people have praised it for centuries. That they've always talked about that stillness and about a quiet moment is all that people needed. That just take a second to sit back, relax and think about this. Yet how often do we ever do that? They say that the one thing you can't escape from in life is yourself. So build a life you don't need to escape from. But unfortunately, so many of us have, without asking for it specifically, have a life that's so hyper-connected that even when you don't want to, anybody and everybody, if given enough time, can connect with you. It's understanding that there's very famous philosophers has once said that all of humanity's problems stem from humanity's inability to sit quietly in a room by themselves. And that thought process is so true, or that philosophy or belief is so true when you think about how often people make these quick split-second decisions. Oh, there's a notification that triggers me to do something. Oh, there's another one that triggers me to do something else. That's an alarm for me to do something else. There's always this constant, unpredictable nudges that prompt us and trigger us to do something straight away, next. And so we haven't even finished this task. We've got a notification. I'm sorry, I have to get my phone. You know, this constant barrage of anxiety-inducing notifications that are coming in from all angles, whether it be on your wrist, whether it be on your phone. Nowadays, it could even be on your kettle. And understanding how few and far between is it now, even across an entire lifetime. Do we stop, sit back, and just disconnect from the world in any way, shape, or form? To put your phone on airplane mode is almost, you know, so it can cause so much anxiousness. Like, but what if they can't contact me? You know, and it's like, how often is it now? Don't forget to bring your phone, you know, because you always need to be contactable. It's almost seen as odd when they say, like, what happened? Where's your phone? I decided not to bring it. People look at you like you're ludicrous. They look at you like, why? How are you meant to call? How are you meant to look anything up? Like, how are you meant to take that photo? It's such a part of us and our identities now that it's almost seen as odd and wrong to not be hyper-connected. So it removes that option by social standard to experience that stillness. So when you think about things like, there's three main parts to why people sort of are unharmonious with themselves nowadays. The mind, the spirit, and the body. So for example, the mind, which is all about thinking. It's about having that thinking, that rational thought that's taking a moment and not emotionally charged, but looking at it objectively and logically. So many of us don't have that option anymore because we feel this trigger of some sort of notification. We're instantly fueled by the emotion of anxiety or curiosity to go and compelled to go check that message. Spirit is, you know, no longer is there really well thought out meaning to the life choices we make. It's normally based on like, well, I got this job because it pays well. Or I'm at this job because I need to pay rent and I need a house to live in. Or I'm taking on this second job so that I can buy that car, go on that holiday. Do something, but never, it's normally some sort of materialistic, instant gratification built decision. There's a real lack of like meaning to things. It's not like, I want to do this because I want to create better in this industry. I want to provide more in this industry. I want to serve others in this industry. That lack of meaning now is normally because of the rush, quick, hurry mentality that we have now, that there's very little time put aside to stop and think. Yeah, so what do you want to be? I don't know, I'm 12. There's very like, it's almost an instant expectation of things. The last one is body. They say that if you don't treat the vessel properly now, we'll be forced to abandon it sooner rather than later. That's always understand with that, like, it's that things always based on convenience. It's that based on, I'll just eat that because it's convenient. As opposed to, no, how much damage is that doing? You know, we're overfed but undernourished. And it's that thought process of one, two, or even all three of these things are out of harmony, out of sync nowadays. And but when are we ever given the time or chance to stop, take a moment, sit in stillness and think about it? See, the interesting thing that this book reminded me of was that every philosopher, no matter how distant or different, came to the exact same conclusion. Across every century of the entire time we've been on this earth, every single philosopher, whether they be separated by land or sea, came to the same conclusion of stillness. The importance of stopping, taking a moment, and just thinking about things. So to summarize quickly, this book was all about how to survive and thrive in any situation. It was about stillness is what aims the archer's arrow. It inspires new ideas and sharpens perspective while illuminating connections. It's the mentality of take a moment. Just stop, take a second, think about it. It's understanding that wise people have praised this for centuries now, yet it's becoming fewer and far between. It's so rare now for people to apply it. That famous saying of that the one thing you can't escape from life is yourself. So build a life you don't need to escape from. The three things that are out of harmony, out of sync now is your mind, spirit, and body. The mind where we no longer necessarily take the time to think rationally and logically as much as we should. We don't think about a spirit and really as much as we should think about what meaning or purpose we're bringing to this world. And how often is it that we really put intentional thought into how we treat our bodies? And then lastly, understanding or highlighting the fact that every philosopher, no matter where they were in the world, came to the exact same conclusion, that stopping, sitting, waiting, taking a moment to be still will help us achieve and solve so many other problems. Now, if you can embody all of these philosophies and what it is as a whole, you'll understand what it means to say that stillness is the key. Now we'll be making a lot more of these videos for this training series to help you with your personal development goals. That's all for now though. So until next time, leave a comment below on what you like the most. I look forward to sharing more with you in the next episode of Harry's Highlights.